Hello everyone. Welcome to the Ubuntu FileZilla client setup tutorial. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and install the FileZilla client, which the easiest way would be to go into the command line and type in sudo apt-get install FileZilla. Normally what the actual terminal will do whenever you type in the sudo command, it'll ask you for your actual root user password. Being that I've already been in doing some background work, my password has already been saved inside. But now the actual installation has completed. For those of you who want to do it the GUI way, the graphical user interface, we can go onto the web and basically go and type in FileZilla. And go ahead and type the client. FileZilla-project.org. And basically go ahead and click your FileZilla client right there. And then you select your distribution for the Linux systems, Mac, Windows, or what have you. Just go ahead and click on that and install it the normal way that you would install any other program. But now that we already have ours installed, we're going to go ahead and exit out of the terminal, and then under the applications menu under internet, your FileZilla should already appear. Now what we have here is this is actual all of the folders and files that you have on your current workstation on your computer. These are all your directories and folders. Now what we have to do now is actually set up the actual communication between the FileZilla client and the FileZilla server. So what they have done with the 3.3.3, which is this version that we're using here, we go into the edit menu and click the network configuration wizard, which makes it streamlined and easy for everyone to be able to go ahead and configure their communication between their FileZilla client and the FileZilla server. So we'll go ahead and click that. This is some basic information about the firewall and router configuration wizard, just to let you know basically what's going to be done. So we're going to go ahead and click next. And next here we have the firewall and router configuration, which talks about the actual modes or default mode that you want to set up for your actual FileZilla client. Passive mode is the recommended mode, because basically in passive mode what it does is the FileZilla asks the server for a port and connects to the given port. And not much configuration has to be done for this. Basically it'll be like a dynamic deal to where the actual FileZilla client will go out and establish communication with the FileZilla server and ask the server for a port to use for communication. And then once that port is given, then it'll go ahead and be accepted. And we also have click down here, allow fallback to other transfer mode on failure. So just in case your passive mode failure, it'll go ahead and go to the actual hard port 21 or whatever you have configured for your actual port communication in active mode. So we're going to go ahead and click next. Alright, here this is the actual configuring the passive mode. Basically, in order to make that connection with the server, the actual client has to have the server's external IP address. So we're going to go ahead and say use the server's external IP address instead, and click next. Alright, what we have here, normally the default would be to ask your operating system for the external IP address. But what I found with this in testing, because after the configuration wizard finishes, it goes into a testing mode, the actual external IP address never comes out correct. It always finds the wrong mismatch external IP address. So what I went ahead and did here is I type in my external IP address, which you can actually go and find also using the terminal by clicking if config. And if you go and look through all of the information here, you'll go and find your actual IP address, which is, I'm on a wireless, so mine is 192.168.2.2, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. So that will be the actual IP address that you would actually put into this block here. And then we'll go ahead and select, make sure it's selected. By default it's selected, but it's do not use external IP address on local connections, which basically means that you don't want to go and use the external IP address in order to connect to a server that's inside the same network. So we're going to go ahead and click next. Here, this is also pre-configured. Right here, by default, it said ask operating system for a port. And what I found as well here is that the operating system never finds the correct port, and it's always a mismatch. So basically what I did is I went ahead and I selected to use the following port range, which these figures were already filled in, the 6,000 through 7,000 port range. So let's go ahead and click next. And now basically the wizard is done, simple and easy. And now we just click test to ensure that everything is working. And it runs through all the tests, positive responses. And what I've also found here is this response 150 opening data connection. That usually takes a while, a little bit longer than everything else. But what I've also found is that it never ever goes through. It never succeeds. It always fails. But that was not a problem when I went ahead and tried to communicate with the actual FileZilla server. So basically, it'll run through the test, and once the test is complete, you can go ahead and move forward. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cancel this because we already have it set up. Now here, with the FileZilla 3.3.3 client, they have this new bar right here that makes it easy for quick connect, which is fairly simple. All you need is the IP address for your server, and what you'll do is you'll type your protocol here, which is FTP : // Now, if you know how to work the internet, then you have seen before where you have HTTP : // HTTP is the actual protocol for the internet. FTP is the file transfer protocol, which we'll use here in order to communicate with the FTP server. And then what you do is you go ahead and you'll type in your IP address for your server, or if you have a DNS domain name like Yahoo or whatever your server may be, you can type that in there as well. But my server address is 192.168.2.28, and then here you just type in your username, which has already been pre-configured for the server. Type that in there, and then type in your password, and then select Quick Connect. Green means that you're good, and basically here now we are connected to the server from the client, and we have all of the files that we have access to. And now if you wanted to move anything over, basically you can select it and drag it over here if you want, or you can drag it anywhere down here, and it'll add it to whichever directory you'd like. And it's pretty much a really simple, easy, free FTP solution that can be used cross-platform. Right now, this is on Ubuntu, and I'm communicating with the Windows FileZilla server. So it's fairly simple. The protocols communicate, and it's nice and easy. And thank you again for watching, and I hope to post again soon. Thank you.